Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Easy English channel. We are so happy to see you again. I'm Emily.
And I'm Peter. Hello, Emily. I am feeling absolutely fantastic today. My energy is high and I am ready to talk. How about you?
I am doing wonderful, Peter. I can see that you are in a great mood. It is actually perfect for our topic today.
Oh? What are we talking about? Is it about winning the lottery or going on vacation?
Not quite, Peter. Today we are talking about the power of positivity. It's about how our mindsets and the way we think can actually change our daily lives and our English learning journey.
That is a beautiful topic. I think everyone needs a little more positivity these days. But before we begin, listeners, if you find our conversations helpful, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. It really helps us reach more English learners around the world.
Yes, thank you for the support. Now, Peter, when you hear the word positivity, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
I think about smiling and always looking for the good things in a situation. Even if I have a bad day, I try to find one small thing to be happy about.
That is exactly it. But some people think positivity means you have to be happy 100% of the time. That is not true. Real positivity is more about your perspective. Perspective is the way you choose to see the world.
That's a great word, perspective. So it's not about ignoring problems, but about how we respond to them.
Exactly. Let's look at an example that our listeners know very well, learning English. Peter, have you ever felt frustrated when you couldn't remember a word?
Oh, all the time. Sometimes I feel like my brain is a sieve. The information just falls right through. It can be very discouraging.
A sieve, that's a funny image. But listen to the difference in mindset. A negative person might say, I am terrible at English. I will never learn this. But a positive person or someone with a growth mindset would say, this is a difficult word, but if I practice it a few more times, I will get it.
I see. So the situation is the same. The word is hard to remember, but the internal dialogue is different. The positive person sees a challenge, while the negative person sees a failure.
Precisely. And research shows that when you stay positive, your brain actually works better. You are more open to learning and you remember things more easily.
That makes sense. When I'm stressed or angry at myself, my brain feels locked. It's hard to think clearly.
Right. So let's talk about some practical phrases our listeners can use to stay positive. Peter, do you know the idiom look on the bright side?
Yes, my mother used to say that all the time. To look on the bright side means to find the good part of a bad situation. For example, if it is raining and your picnic is canceled, the bright side is that you can stay home and watch a movie instead.
Perfect example. Another one is every cloud has a silver lining. This means that every difficult or sad situation has a positive side to it.
I love that one. The silver lining is the light at the edge of a dark cloud. It's very poetic.
It really is. And for our listeners, maybe your silver lining for a long commute to work is that you have more time to listen to this podcast.
That is a very positive way to look at a long bus ride. Now, Emily, I have a question. Sometimes it is hard to be positive when things are really going wrong. Do you have any tips for our friends on how to practice this?
I do. One of the best ways is to practice gratitude. Gratitude simply means being thankful. Every morning or before you go to sleep, try to think of 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big things.
Like a good cup of coffee?
Exactly. A good cup of coffee, a kind message from a friend, or even just a beautiful sunset. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your mood changes instantly.
That is so true. I also find that the people we spend time with influence our positivity. If you spend all day with people who complain, it's hard to stay happy.
You are right, Peter. We often say energy is contagious. If you are around positive, encouraging people, you'll start to feel that way too.
I agree. That's why we want this channel to be a positive place for everyone. We want to encourage you and tell you that you are doing a great job with your English.
Absolutely. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. You need to be kind to yourself along the way.
Peter, you mentioned earlier that positivity helps with memory. Can we talk more about that? Our listeners always want to know how to improve their memory.
Well, scientists say that stress hormones like cortisol can actually damage the parts of the brain responsible for learning. When we're negative or worried, we produce more cortisol. But when we're positive and relaxed, our brain releases dopamine.
And dopamine makes us feel good.
Yes, and it also acts like a save button for our memory. When you enjoy what you are doing, your brain says, hey, this is important. Let's remember this.
So, if you enjoy listening to our voices and you're laughing a little bit, you're actually learning more than if you were staring at a boring grammar book.
That's the theory. Positivity makes you a more efficient learner.
That is amazing. Okay, so let's review some of the vocabulary we've used today. We talked about mindset, which is your collection of thoughts and beliefs.
We also mentioned perspective, the way you see things, and growth mindset, which is the belief that you can improve with effort.
We had 2 great idioms, look on the bright side and every cloud has a silver lining.
And we talked about gratitude, being thankful, and how energy is contagious, meaning it spreads from one person to another.
This has been such an uplifting conversation, Emily. Uplifting is another good word. It means something that makes you feel more hopeful or happy.
I agree, Peter. I feel very motivated now. I hope our listeners feel the same way.
Before we go, we have a question for all of you listening today. What is one small thing you are grateful for today? Or can you tell us about a time you looked on the bright side?
Please write your answers in the comments. We read every single one, and it truly makes us happy to see your progress.
It really does. Remember, you have the power to choose your thoughts. Choose the ones that make you feel strong and capable.
Well said, Peter. Thank you for joining us today on the Easy English channel.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay positive.
Bye-bye.